Yo, good morning, everybody. I wanted to answer this question on Quora that came up. It was, what are the ways that startups get their first client? The number one way, and that you should think about this before you even try to get into a startup, is to try and connect with people who could be using a solution that you're thinking about. So the number one way to do it is by starting having a client in mind that, and by in mind I mean like that you're actually already talking to about a potential solution to the problem you're looking to create your business around. And it's really that simple. Like, you really want to have someone who's already looking for the solution you're thinking about creating before you actually go through the work of like creating the solution. You don't want to create a product or service first before there's any need for it. Now, you have to have some sense that there could be a need. Like, there has to be a number of problems that you could solve. Peter Thiel talks about this in his book Zero to One. It's entirely possible that you could create a product or service that you know of is going to solve a problem, but like doesn't quite have a client yet. However, you don't want to do this if you're doing a startup. Having been in a startup that has crashed and burned with some of my own money wrapped in it, I can tell you that you absolutely want to have cash flow from the very beginning. And the best way to do this is by talking to someone right now who's already looking for your solution that you can then take to them to deal with, basically. So, like, how do I want to think about this? If I want to, again, draw an analogy from comedy, I would say it like this. You want to go try stuff out first. You want to have people who want to hear your comedy first rather than just saying you're a comedian and then trying to hustle to find places in which you can do comedy. Go to the lowest barrier to entry place. If you start going to open mics to do the comedy first, you're going to find people who are putting shows together, because that's where they go to find comedians to connect with and to do their shows. Then they're going to book you on their shows because they see you already doing this kind of thing. The best thing you can do is try to talk to people who are already looking for these solutions before you actually put a product together for them. Does this make sense? Like, you don't want to put your time and money into creating something that then never has a market or never has an addressable group of people who are actually going to pay you. So the way that you get your first client in this kind of way is basically by finding the client first, talking with them about their needs and issues, and then tailoring your solution directly to them so that they would be ridiculous to not pay you because they basically got a product for you. The second way that I would say is find a group of those people. Go to groups, go to LinkedIn, go to wherever those groups happen to go on the internet, and talk about that problem. Bring it up, follow the conversations about it, and then just straight up ask them what the solution would look like and propose putting something together. I would say that's the best way to do that. That's in the world of comedy, that's going to a comedy market or a festival, basically. Like, I went to a festival over the last weekend and met a handful of people who could book me in the next year in the Midwest. That's basically what that is going to wherever that group congregates and getting in front of them and proposing your product. I mean, I went up and did 10 minutes of comedy, basically. And people were like, that was a great joke. So this same way works in business. It's really the same in either place. So that's how startups get their first clients. And if you're thinking about being involved in a startup, I would say seriously think about having those people ready to go before you launch yourself and invest yourself into getting this going. Take it easy, everybody.